look at this. I mean, come on. We've got a softbox here. We've got a softbox over here. We got some lights back here. We got a little lamp over here that looks like a person with no arms. And I might have made an intro. Seriously, things are getting for real around here. I have got a whole list of things that I want to do. I got a hat on because I got a tan line here because I've been on the tractor. Speaking of the tractor, I've been hauling dirt, which has given me a lot of time to think. And I've got all kinds of ideas that I want to do in the future. So stick around to the end. I'm going to share a couple of those thoughts. So let's get into this. All right, so this Sunday was pretty normal, pretty standard, pretty straightforward. But Saturday evening, we were at church, at our home church, and I was talking with the sound guy there because he asked my input. And I gave him a challenge. He was having some issues with some things being a little muddy, and I said, disengage everything. Take away the EQ, take away the compression, just take everything away during practice, not live, practice. Pick a channel that you don't really like the sound of, and just undo everything and just see what it sounds like. I bet you anything, you'll have a new perspective on that channel and on how you've EQ'd things. And I didn't really think about it too much more after that until I had an aha moment today while I was mixing. See, I've been struggling ever since I started this with the sound of the snare in my mix. And I thought I had preconceived ideas of what I thought it was. I thought I needed to tweak the compression a little bit. I thought maybe it was bleeding over into the overheads. And then a thought occurred to me, and I can't believe I didn't actually try this. And I did it live, and I kind of felt like an idiot for not thinking. It was so simple that I can't believe I didn't think about it. And as soon as it happened, I was like, oh, yeah, that would have done it. So I decided to do that song today. So let's get into this. All right, you guys will know this song. It's pretty standard. So not a whole lot going on here, just tapping out some delay. Just prepping. I've got some notes off to the side that I've already looked at. Getting ready to ride some vocals here. So I'm just kind of setting that reverb and delay. A little too much delay there. Oh, also, if you notice, I'm trying a different shot out today. I don't know if this is actually the shot. It looked cool when I shot it, but still can't tell what I'm doing. I really need to do an overhead shot. I'm just not sure how to do that without it being awkward. But you notice on my my main outputs, you'll see there's a center output that goes up and down every now and then. It's because I'm out of outputs, and the camera guys wanted to have talkback. So if you see that on the bottom left there, go up and down, right there, it went up and back off. That's just the camera talkback. I meant to say that last week. There it is again. Too much snare. Oh, look at that. I just took it down. So you notice how that snare sounds kind of flappy? So I've been trying to figure out a way to fix it. I EQ'd it a little differently today, and that didn't really help. So I just listened with my headphones. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not doing anything right now. Okay, so I liked it. The beginning of the song was pretty low band-wise, so I left the vocals down a little bit because you want to leave physical headroom, physical decibel headroom in your mix. So now the band's in a little bit groovier, so I'm pushing the vocals just a little bit more so you can hear them. Oh, here we go. Okay, so I gotta pause it right here. Okay, right here. Here it is. Watch this. Do you see what happened there? So what I'm gonna do here, this is the moment I was telling you about where I thought, it can't be that simple. How did I not think of this? I've got reverb on the snare drum, and that's that splatting sound that I'm hearing. So I grab the drum matrix, and I pull the matrix down. And all of a sudden, the snare clears up. Exactly what I was just telling my friend last Saturday night about his mix. If you don't like something, try disabling some stuff and see if it clears up. And I accidentally, maybe it was a subconscious thing, but I accidentally found myself taking my own advice. And I wasn't even thinking of that conversation when I took my own advice. But listen carefully. Hopefully, if you got some cans, now's the time to put them on, because you're going to hear me pull down my matrix, and the snare is going to go from a splatting sound to an actual snare sound. So this right here is where I felt like an idiot, because I'm like, oh my gosh. Are you serious? Like, I am a professional sound engineer. And how come it took me this long to even think about the reverb being too hot on the snare? It seems like a simple concept, but here's the thing. As church sound guys, a lot of you guys are in the same room with the same band every single week. So things tend to become ordinary. And things that maybe if somebody from the outside came in and listened, they might go, your snare sounds a little off, and I think it might be the reverb. Like if I were to go into another church and listen to a mix and go, hey, pull your reverb out for a second. Let me just hear the snare. Like that would just be a common thing that I would do. But for some reason, in my own situation, somehow it escaped me. Let's keep going. Listen to that snare. So right now is when I feel like an idiot, right? I kind of forgot all about the vocals at the moment. Now I'm listening to the drums. I'm over here mixing the drums. Everything else has kind of gone away for a few measures in my mind. I put my cans on to listen to the live stream mix. Okay, now I'm back to the vocals. Sort of. Maybe not. Yep. All right, so now, okay, this is what I'm doing. And so now I've had a moment to process what I've done to myself. So what I'm going to do is I want to bring the reverb back, but only in the toms now, because I don't mind the way the reverb sounds in the toms, and there's not a whole lot of reverb anyway on the toms. There was the reverb was up to unity on the snare, but it was like -8 or something on the toms, so it's not a ton. So that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm just changing that bus send basically, bringing it back in. It's just got the toms now. That splatting is gone. Who would have thought? I like that trail, that delay trail. Might be on the verge of too much. Yeah, it's too much. It's hard to tell when you're in the room. Now I want to redo all the drums. I'm not a big fan of the actual mix of the drums right at the moment. But that splatting sound's gone. Logan on his awesome guitar solos that he always does. Yeah. I'm riding his fader. Got his fader. And I got my right hand on the vocal effects all the time. Pretty much lives there all the time unless I'm doing that, tapping out.
God, we look to you.
Okay,
You are where our
so
help comes from.
you notice I left. This is pretty much, I think this is the end of the song.
Distracted by so many things that
This is the end of the song, but I will tell you what I just did. So, as an audio engineer, as a good church sound guy, you have to be aware of your surroundings. And, of course, you want the service to go smooth. I always tell the tech team, like, listen, if nobody knows that we exist, then we did our jobs correctly. Because if everything is smooth and there's nothing awkward or weird or sounds funny or looks funny, then nobody's really going to notice that we're back there. And that's good. And so we had a guest, we had our associate pastor speak. So he doesn't speak all the time. Usually there's a bumper video after the worship before the message, and it's usually 3-4 minutes long. Today's was only 1 minute and 27 seconds. And so while Brandon here is talking between the third and fourth song, I know I've got a good 2.5-3 minutes worth of time that I don't have to do anything. So I made my way over to him and said, listen, you're going to have to make this changeover quick. And I coordinated with the guy who brings up the podium. And I was like, listen, you guys, we got 1 minute and 27 seconds. So just get it in your brains that it's going to have to be a quick transition. And it was awesome. It went great. But as a sound guy, you kind of need to look at the big picture and say, what can I do to not be seen, not be noticed? Because the sound guy, you know how it is. The sound guy gets blamed for everything. The lyrics are wrong. It's the sound guy's fault. The lights aren't working. It's the sound guy's fault. If the guitar player plays the wrong chords, it's the sound guy's fault. It's always the sound guy's fault. So anyway, I try to deflect as much as I can by making sure that the service goes smooth. So anyway, we're going to stop the song there. I'm trying to keep these under 15 minutes. I do want to talk about one more thing. This is where I pause for a really long time so I can cut it out if I need to with my video editing skills. This is the pause. Okay, so I spent a lot of time this week thinking about all this, and I've had some amazing positive response to these videos. I've been texting them out to all these churches that I go to every day. I'm in a church usually every single day because the company I work for, Sound and Church Training and Consulting, we're in churches. We're talking to tech directors, pastors, worship leaders, all those folks all the time. And so I've just been sending all these videos out to them, and I've been getting great response. So I've come up with a few other things that I'm going to start doing. I'm going to do these mixed commentaries. I'm going to call them mixed commentaries, episode whatever. Today is episode 4. So once a week, mixed commentary, episode 4, episode whatever I'm on, will always get released once a week. But then I'm going to do some other stuff, little side projects. How do you EQ? How do you mix downward? How do you use compression? How do you do this or that? And so be looking for those. I've got all kinds of ideas that I thought of. I'm going to try to keep them creative. I'm going to try to keep them fun, and I'm going to try to keep them short. So anyway, until next week.